Welcome, everybody. Episode 11 of the latest.
Hi,
First,
everybody.
first post CES session. We did one at CES, which was good, but sometimes it takes, when you go to those big shows, it takes a little time to digest. And then I kept going. I don't know about you, Brad, for the last, since we got back. That. I forgot about that. That,
Yeah.
because it's just like such a, yeah, just an amazing, so much happening.
So much happening. Yeah, I think I reached out to people, I connected with people, and then there's more to come because there were thousands of people, there were hundreds of exhibits, there were dozens of connections, and there were so many insights and breakthroughs. A couple minutes before we hit record, we were talking about what to talk about today. We could talk about some of the things we didn't talk about on the CES Live from Vegas episode. But anyway, let's get started.
For sure. And just now that you've had a chance to digest, though, Brad, is there just like, I'm sure people asked, oh, what's the coolest thing you saw? Do you
Yeah.
have an auto answer for that now, or?
The helicopter car was pretty amazing.
Yes.
I mean, you keep up with tech and I keep up with tech, and we talk to a lot of people who watch videos and read articles. So we're aware that there are robots. We're aware of the robot dog. It was awesome to see it in person. But it wasn't new. It wasn't like something I'd never heard of. When I walked into the one hall and saw the SUV with a helicopter that pops out the back, I did not know that was going to be there. That was pretty mind-blowing.
Totally.
And I will shout out Shocks, the headphones. These are fantastic. If anybody likes headphones, earbuds, earpods, anything that connects with your tablet or your phone, these guys don't go in your ear. For years, I've resisted getting headphones because I don't like things in my ear. These ones just sit on top of your ear. The sound is tremendous, right? The look is sleek, right? You can run and jog with these things. I can't recommend these enough, which is to say I highly recommend these. The sound is excellent. You can still hear the room. They connect to your device. Shocks, Shokz. That's their latest, and it's a fantastic product. I picked up a pair at CES.
Are we able to buy those at the booth, or were they selling them? Did you buy them at one of those?
Well, I was talking with this fella here, with Michael. If I can get that on the shot. I was talking with Michael, and I mentioned that we do the latest podcast, and all of a sudden he said friend discount, and he gifted me a pair. But I showed genuine enthusiasm for these. I was not fishing for a free pair of headphones. Um, I showed genuine enthusiasm. You showing me, I was like, oh, I've seen these. I want to know about them. I even asked to buy them. I said, can I buy them? And what's the discount? And he said,
Right.
oh, are you in the media? I said, well, we do a podcast. And next thing you know, so I'm giving them a big shout out because I was genuinely pumped for those. I've used them since. I think they're fantastic.
I love that. And I think that, and just, I'd gotten my AirPods right before we went to CES, and my old ones had broken. So and the AI they have in these Apple headphones are pretty phenomenal. I think I may have mentioned to you, I was in a I was in a I was outside of Digital Hollywood, and I was talking to somebody. I had the thing and one of the headphones in.
Mhm.
When I put the second one in, it was like silence all around me. It was such a trip.
So explain this. So it's noise canceling. You can still hear people talking to you, but you drown out like the 5,000 people in the room.
Right. I mean, I was on the phone, so I was talking to somebody in my headphones. But I had one in, so I still heard the outside noise. When I put the second one in, it was like it was almost like the cone of silence, if you remember
Yeah.
from Get Smart. Everything was silent. It was a trip, and I asked the person, could they hear the background noise? They weren't able to hear it either. So I just think that like targeted sound is really cool. Um,
Mm.
anyway, so
What's the thing that you think when people say, wow, CES? What do you say? Oh my gosh, standout product.
I really did like the booth that we went by. Both of those booths, right? So the one with the video had the video
Lucy Pin.
Lucy pin.
Sean has joined Brain Juice. I want Sean to come next week and show their new, I'm going to jump in and say this, their new video searching algorithm he put on the chat. Did you see this?
No, I didn't. And that was the most impressive part because I think that when you can search video by image and site, that's a game changer for me, right? Because a lot of times you have to put closed captioning along with a video. This is game changer as far as I'm concerned. So, again, small booth, end of the aisle, right? I mean, you're looking, it's like, oh, what could that be? There were so many of those finds. And, I was speaking to Chris Cooper, Christopher Cooper. He was there. We didn't know he was there. But he found like this electric blanket that was like a heating blanket that used newer technology in the camping session. I'm like, how did you even get to the camping section?
I
So
saw the big RV.
big
Try
RV.
that link. I want to try something here because you haven't seen this. So this is kind of cool. I've seen this, you haven't. I put it in the chat. If you open that link, that's Sean from Lucy Pin. So you and I were there taking videos of people. We took a video of Sean, and then Sean joined Brain Juice in the chat. He's going to join in person. So this is his software. So you've never seen this. So this is going to be cool, right? You're going to sign in with your account. This is part of the, by the way, the Lucy Pin was rating on some news sites as like the gem of CES. So it's not just some random thing. People were saying like this might have been one of the coolest things.
Oh, okay, good.
So
Okay.
what we're looking at here is a series of uploaded videos that now you can use text to search. And I think they encourage you to look for things like the scene where the man shakes the astronaut's hand, and it will go there. Now, I haven't used the interface. I'm not certain if you have to select a video before the search function works.
Interesting. So now let's try. Yeah, let's just try the first one that brought up. It's only one second. Oh wow. And he did shake his hand at the beginning of that.
Right. So you didn't say Elon Musk or Tesla or NASA.
Oh, and it's giving me where it's at. That's interesting, right? Because it said 1 second here. So here,
Right.
look at this one. So here, it takes us right to 344.
Right to the astronaut in the clip. So yeah, so that's what's interesting. To the viewers who didn't see us talk about this last time, the Lucy Pin is like a name tag sized device that you can put on your shirt or set on a shelf or something like that. You can connect it to a major power source and have it run forever like any other device, but without the connected power, it's like a 4-hour battery, and this will 4K quality stream video to the cloud of anything that you can later search with keywords. So you can find your, kid at the soccer game when they score the goal. You could find that in a text.
And let's try another one. I stopped sharing, I forgot to share sound.
Gotcha.
So let's see.
Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest.
All right, interesting.
So, I mean, the concept is fairly simple. They've created a way to search any frame in the video using words.
Yeah,
So
totally.
now when there's hundreds of hours of footage and you're just like, I need to know the part where someone climbed over the fence. You're like, I don't want to see the empty parking lot from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. Like, I need the part where someone climbs over the fence. You just type in climbs over fence and it would bring you there.
Thank you. Stay a second. Stay a second.
Interesting. And I know when we spoke to Sean at the booth, and I was talking to him about just taking all of our YouTube footage we've had for close to 20 years
Right.
and dumping it in and taking it all and then creating some type of cohesive story around it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pretty amazing as we're getting into just this, just these data centers, the companies that can handle these huge amounts of video.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, in your business, Brad, with entertainment, just how far that's come, with the post-production companies and then whatever you can put on devices.
Oh yeah, no, it's Alan, who was at CES. He has from I think a couple of years thousands of hours of footage of the music festival circuit at the global stage. So the big names from 10 or 15 years ago. He has thousands of hours of footage of DJs, of festivals, of events. Imagine having thousands of hours of footage, and you're like, I just want to know where the big disco ball turns purple, and you just type in purple disco ball instead of going through thousands of hours. Like I was saying, it could be security footage, it could be family birthdays because my son turned 6 on Tuesday. It could be, personal, it could be work, it could be creative. There's so many instances where we've got far too much video footage for the time at hand. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing tool. And if they're doing that now, I mean, in a year from now, I bet you it's going to be excellent.
Totally. Um, Couple of other things I wanted to show this morning, Brad. I know that ChatGPT seems to be down.
Yep.
I did see, I don't know if you saw this versus that beat Atari last night.
Yeah, you tagged me in that post and I checked it out. It
Yeah.
runs at like a hyper speed.
So that was interesting, right? So that's something around yeah, spatial AI that I've just been kind of digging into. I wanted to mention on the show because I think we'll be talking about things coming up. There's Grok with a Q, now not to be confused with Grok with a K.
Yeah.
This is, I'm going to just show a quick demo of this because what they've done, I think it's an Israeli company, and they've created a different type of silicon and ways of for their data center and chip speed, and the Grok LPU is pretty phenomenal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload, let's see if I can upload a file here. I should be able to drag something over. So I'm going to drag the Microsoft annual report. Oh, it doesn't work.
So
Interesting.
if you've never seen this before, Grok is an alternative to Claude or OpenAI's ChatGPT or Gemini.
Right. And interesting. I know in the past I was able to just dump large files in.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can just copy the whole thing, which this is this is a 108 plus page report, Microsoft.
Wow.
So I'm going to say, hi, Grok. Um, Pasting in Microsoft's 2024 annual report. What top 5 initiatives, 10 initiatives? What do you want to know?
Top five. So this is Microsoft, the company, announcing to the world their latest plan.
Their annual report. So paste the whole thing in. Now I'm going to hit return.
I noticed while we're waiting here, David,
Gonna sign in.
yeah, I noticed while we're waiting, you tend to say hi Grok or hi ChatGPT. I've heard from some really smart people recently at CES that they believe that when you give a name to these language models, that it not only improves, but it gets more specific.
Right. And smart names, I think you said, right?
That was their idea. They said that if you took some classically smart name, Albert like Albert Einstein, Leonardo like Leonardo da Vinci, or whichever person or group that you want to identify with or channel, that all the instances in the language model associated with that name will bolster your results or slightly alter them in a hopefully positive way. I
Right.
think they said that if I'm pretty sure they had checked this as a fact that OpenAI had intentionally made an Easter egg. If you called it Jarvis, like from the Marvel movies, Iron Man's AI, that there was a novelty that then turned into an actual benefit of talking to AI and calling it Jarvis.
Yes. And this is interesting. So it's capping me. This is interesting. So I have not played with this for a little bit, and now
Yeah.
it's telling me that that I put in too many characters. It's capping me at 2,000.
Oh, you hit the token limit. Oh,
So they must have changed some things recently.
gotcha. Well,
And that's interesting. But anyway, what I wanted to show with this was just how fast it is. So maybe if I say hi, Grok. Oh, did I call it chat before? Maybe it was insulted.
no, I think you called it
I
Grok.
did call, right? Weekly podcast called The Greatest to help everyone updated with the latest AI tools. Tools. Um, just fix my spelling here. Not that it'll matter.
Mhm.
We're going to create a 5-session course for this. Please play it out for us. Okay, sounds pretty. I just wanted to show how fast it is. This thing doesn't think at all.
It just blinked. Like I didn't even see that happen.
It's like you think it didn't work, right? Fantastic
Yeah.
idea. Here's a 5, which I was going to talk to you about this, Brad. So I think that interesting, right? And maybe this is something that we put out there for people to check out. Because I think, right, I do have a Tools 101 course coming, I feel like, with our community, just like
Mhm.
you do with Brain Juice. It's pretty high level.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to make sure, like, people from our community, if they haven't touched it, they just have been heads down in something else, which is fine. They're brilliant people, but they're like, oh, AI, like it's such a big lift. And I think people think they have to come in and understand everything. It's like, what am I committing to? When in
Yeah.
fact, they can kind of cherry pick through a couple of things that they want that's going to make their life easier and just like save them 5 hours a week. I mean, that's great, right?
Yeah, I said the same thing to someone recently, David, that it's not like the history of the car that you have to start at the horse and buggy and work your way up to hand cranked open air 1920s Model Ts before you can get into today's car. You can just get into today's car. You can just get into today's AI. You can just hop right in and interact with it like it's anything else on your computer, which is just talking to it with a keyboard or with your voice or with pictures. Um, it looks like ChatGPT is back up. Do you want to
Oh
show
yeah. So what do you want?
tasks? Yeah.
Can you jump into Canvas? Because
Yeah, let's do that.
I know you had, I don't know if I screen stopped sharing. I'm getting the
Yeah.
it did?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, good. So I'm frozen.
Oh no. We're on here. So we're looking at two different things that are new. You're still there, David, yeah?
I'm here. I can hear you, but I may
Oh,
be.
there you go. Okay, you're not frozen anymore. So there's two features that are worth talking about. One is tasks and one is Canvas. Do you want to talk about Canvas first?
Yeah, both of them. But yes, Canvas, what you were showing the other night was amazing.
Right. So when you have ChatGPT and you're in your main search window, I guess we're going to call it, or text box, you'll see the paperclip. I've zoomed right in to attach files, which I think most people are familiar with, that you can attach a document in one way or another. You can connect Microsoft OneDrive when you hit the paperclip. You can add from Google Drive if you subscribe to Google, or just straight upload from your computer, which is just whatever you got. But then there's this toolbox, right? It looks like a rectangle with like a star in it and a ruler. And then there's search the web. Search the web's cool. It's very straightforward. You can search the internet by clicking that button, right? But when I use the toolbox, there are 4 tools. One is to make a picture, which is cool. One is to search the web, which we get. One is to use the smarter reasoning. But this one at the bottom is what I want to talk about. It's got the pencil icon and a star. It's called Canvas. It says collaborate on writing and code. Now, don't let the code scare you. It does not mean you have to use it for computer code. If I click Canvas, I see the word Canvas in blue. Now I'm in Canvas mode. And what happens is I get essentially a Word doc. So we're going to say, write a letter to America about 2025, and you are excited, right? Because it's January of 2025, and we'll do something positive. So what you'll notice here is that it just made a different look than the normal ChatGPT, right? It sort of popped open. There was a rectangle and a little arrow, and it popped open on its own. And what you'll see on the left-hand side is a thin rectangle where it tells me my prompt, write a letter, and then its response, and it's in like a box. And this left-hand column, right, is where I'll interact with it. If I zoom in at the bottom, it looks familiar. It's just pushed over to the left. And now I can ask it questions, right? I can say, I like this, I like that. But what's cool is I can type right in it. I could say, because I'm in Canada, Dear Canada. I just type that in, right? And I can undo that, right?
So you can edit within the doc. Wow.
Yeah, I could say, Dear Candy for breakfast,
Amazing.
right? Because some people eat candy for breakfast. So in that Canvas, this is like having a Google Doc or a Word doc or a whichever platform document powered by ChatGPT. And what's cool is if I hover over a sentence or a section, this little button shows up. You see that little plus button there?
Yes.
That happened when I hovered over it, right? So I just sort of waited and then it shows up and then it highlights it blue. If I click this, now I can edit or explain just that. So I could say, make this funny, right? And now in the left-hand column, it's going to give me results. And it live edits right in front of you. It highlights it and then, it says we're on a wild ride like a kid on caffeine. And let's say I think that's really ridiculous. Well, up at the top here is the previous version, right? I can show the changes with the clock, and it gives me red crossed out language and green highlighted new language. Or I can hit the previous version, and it'll go back. And at the bottom, there's a black bar that says restore this version, right? And let's say I want to restore it. I like that one. I like the previous one. And away we go. Now, your imagination can run wild from here. If you can type in the box, if you can ask it questions, you can edit it. You can see the revisions. You can go back and forth. It's pretty awesome, right? And at the top, there's a copy button. So when you're done, you can just click the copy button. So you can write emails. You can write letters. You can write business plans. David, the other day, Christopher Diltz and I were making a business plan for a client in here that had calculations, projections, financials, numbers, and it was a many pages document, 20, 30 pages.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, what happens if there's a 10% increase in this number? Rip through the document and go, oh, there it goes.
Wow.
Like it's a really, really, really impressive tool. So that's layer 1. Should we go one layer deeper?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go one layer deeper. So if I open my sidebar, you'll see projects, right? And you can hit new project with the plus button. right? And so we could say the latest, right? Because that's what we're doing. And I'll create a project. Right, so now I've got what they call a project. And there's two white boxes underneath, add files and add instructions. So this is where you can add documents, code files, images, and more, right? And then anything that I do inside this project, when I click the add files button at the top, right? Anything I do in this project, it's going to know those facts. And then I can say add instructions. So I could say, this is for a kindergarten audience. This is for a business audience. This is for a family picnic. This is for my YouTube channel. This is for whatever audience it's for, whether it's low level or high level or social level or family level, professional or personal. And you can say what you hope to happen, right? Like they're saying you could say respond in Spanish or talk about the latest computers or keep short and focused. So anything that you want it to do, right? And here's something I just discovered right now. It says start a new chat or drag an old one in. I've never seen that until right now. So what you can do here is you can have a series of chats. This is like a folder. And then you can go my Monday chat, my Tuesday chat, my area of focus here, my area of focus there. They'll all draw from the same files. They'll all draw from the same instructions. And then inside each of those, you can make a canvas.
Wow.
Like it's really worth exploring. This is really, really strong stuff. All right. Have we gone too far for today or should we go to tasks?
No, I mean, I'd say go to task, but let me ask you a question. If you wanted to pop in like a napkin graphic there, can you just upload that in and we'll pull it all together?
Yeah, so we'll pivot here. We've gone over to napkin.ai here, which I'll probably pop up napkin.ai just so people can see it. It's called Napkin, right? And right now it's in beta, which means that they haven't properly launched it and it's free. So let's keep it free. And as you can see from the graphic here, putting in some text, it can give you mind maps, flowcharts, data graphics, metaphors, and images. It gets visuals from your text. It turns your text into visuals. So what I've done here is I asked it, what can napkin do? That was the prompt, right? So I made new napkin at the top and draft with AI, right? Sometimes you can paste in your own stuff, but I said it's a prompt, right? And I said, what can napkin.ai do? That's what I did. Just so you can see it live. It's fairly quick, right? It's about the same answers before. So what can napkin AI do? So great. It's like anything else. You made some text. Cool. But what's different here is when I highlight the text, right, or hover my cursor of my mouse over any of the areas, I get a little lightning bolt that's blue and white, and I just click generate visuals, and it does it automatically. So I didn't have to do anything. I just clicked it once. And then on the side here, I can choose the styles of the way I want to explain this. Right. And then if you click on the side really thin here, there's a scroll bar. You can keep scrolling down. There's a bunch of options. And if you don't like any of these, there is a generate more. And they get a little bit more specific. Right. And then once I pick the one I like, you'll notice each has an arrow with styles. Right. So if I really like this one because it looks cool, and I go into styles.
Wow.
Right. It then gives me different color schemes. And once I pick whichever one I like this one, once I'm in there, then I can move it around, right? Or change its color, make it purple, make it red, whatever. I can change its size, right? Or I believe can change the thickness of it. I can change the style of the box. There's all these little options here. Or if I don't like it, I can hit the lightning bolt button and change it to styles that it thinks are similar. So it's really cool. It's totally cool, right? Because what you can do is have any concept you're trying to show people in pictures, you can pump it into here and keep the ones you like.
Love it.
Right? The lightning bolt button.
Amazing.
And change it to styles that it thinks are similar. Well, I'm listening to your audio, right? It's totally cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So absolutely, you could take your images from here, right? There's a download button right there, export. So in the top right-hand corner, I could change the style, the aspect ratio, the colors and brightness, or export it, right, to a PNG, scalable vector graphic, or a PDF, right? Light mode or dark mode, background on or off. So you can make it transparent, great resolution. Let's even take that to the clipboard. They put a bunch of new features in lately. So I just pasted that in.
And now you're
Just
back
like
to ChatGPT.
And I'm back to ChatGPT, and I've just pasted that in. So what I love about the latest is in showing the latest, I learned the latest in the moment, because this is a brand new set of features. I've used napkin.ai before, but what I just showed you was new from, I want to say, in the last, like David, like the last like 3 days or something. It's like brand new.
That's insane. Right. While we're doing the shows. And that's why, I said, I was sick. I was out for a week sick. I feel like I fell so behind. It's like, how do I catch up with all this stuff? And then you were showing that stuff Monday night. I'm just like, Canvas, time reminders, right? So look, so next week we'll do reminders. We'll
Tasks.
we'll tasks, sorry. We'll get into Gamma. There'll be, and the 3 other amazing things that are going to come out this week that we can't even imagine what it is. But remember, for those of you just tuning into the show or just kind of starting your AI journey, couple of thoughts. Number 1, you don't have to know everything. Jump in. It seems intimidating. How can we give you 4 hours a week? Let's start with, because now you're able to do what Brad just did with napkin.ai. That would have taken several hours. He did in 5 minutes. Number 1. And number 2, just, learn, figure out what your goals are, right? We all kind of may have set our aspirations for 2025, our resolutions. Well, maybe there's 1 or 2 things you can learn to make life easier. And then, what I was going to say, I'm still a little foggy from my sickness, but just remember to use it. I keep, sometimes I'll be doing something. It's like, wait a minute, I've got ChatGPT right here. Or I've got Claude, right? What have you been finding, Brad?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just to remember that you have this tool at your disposal. And the best thing you can do is say, I don't know what to do. That's the best thing you can say, is like, I don't know what to do in this situation, and then get suggestions. Be like, I'd like some suggestions.
Yeah.
What tool should I use? What method? You're not always using AI. You're using a faster way to look at what other people in real life have said about the same thing you're going through. That's the big thing, is it's not living, thinking computer brain. It's like a very fast librarian, right? It's a very fast librarian that went to all the other conversations that it has and said, you know what? I think everyone was talking about the same thing.
Yeah. No, I think totally. So this was a great latest, Brad. Learned
It was.
from you. We learned from each other. Amazing. So great to see you. Great hanging out in person in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to try this grok now that you're showing me these things.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's always good to learn with you, David.
Yes,
it's fantastic.
yes. Likewise. And there's the whole, how you can create your ChatGPT phone number. So maybe let's add that to next week too.
That has not hit my brain yet. I know it exists, but I've not grasped that there's phone numbers now and you can phone someone else's ChatGPT. I think Brooks was doing that. It's wild.
Right. Yeah. Brooks was doing some really cool things, so maybe we'll have him on.
Yeah. Now my mind is pulsing because of that phone number thing. I'm like, not that I forgot about it, but I forgot about it. Oh,
I know, right. Listen, there's only enough hours in a day, and Okay, everybody, have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.